Hi everyone. Last episode was part one of the introduction to the wellness series. We were talking with Dr. Keerthana and Pranjal about naturopathy and yoga. So let's continue. So yoga is about 5,000 years old and still we find it to be new and fresh. Do you think yoga, what we are practicing today, is it the same when Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutra? Or do you think it is distorted now?
I wouldn't say it's distorted now. It's just evolved as we went ahead. It might have not been completely the same as it is right now, what we have, but it has evolved according to what different gurus sort of thought that, okay, this is my path, this is what I felt, and this is what I want to teach my disciples, sort of thing. So we have different styles of yoga like vinyasa, hatha, iyengar, and even ashtanga. So all of these have the basic foundations in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So all of them follow the same basic foundations. They have the same postures. You won't find like very different postures in each style of yoga that you have. But the difference would be very, very small. So, for example, in a vinyasa class, you might have like a very fast flow of yoga poses, but their pranayam is very similar to other styles of yoga. So another example would be an Iyengar style class, which I teach. We use different props while we are doing yoga. So we use different props to help get people into a good posture, help deepen their poses. But again, the pranayams of the different styles of yoga remain the same. So it has evolved as we went ahead. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's, of course, it's based on experience, and that's what yoga gives you the freedom to do, right? It's an inner learning. So whatever those gurus felt that this resonates with me, they passed on to their disciples, their whoever was learning under them, and it resonated with them.
I get it, Pranjal, but I specifically use the word distorted because on social media, I'm seeing so many, like maybe hundreds of yoga classes being offered right now. So I'm not able to believe 100% that every single person who is out there teaching, they would have learned anatomy or, you know, I am not too sure. That's why I asked you that question.
Right, that's true. I mean, we if that person has a certification from a institute of yoga, like Yoga Alliance, which offers good certifications, or any other institute which is based in India, they do teach you anatomy. You have to be learning that sort of anatomy. So they ideally should be knowing the anatomy of the human body. But I don't know. I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but there might be people who are just they saw
Yeah.
on the internet and be practicing on their own, and they thought that, okay, now I want to teach because it resonated with them. They felt good after doing that. But if you're not certified, if you've not learned how to teach someone, it can get distorted. So yeah, there I agree with you that people post a lot of things on social media. They post, or they start with many online classes, and all of them might not have that good experience before, because practicing yoga is one thing, but teaching is a
Teaching is
completely
a totally different thing. Yeah,
different
I
thing.
totally agree with you.
If you're a beginner and you want to just start off with yoga, and there's a teacher who has a basic, say even a 200-hour certification,
Mhm.
he or she would be able to teach you to a certain extent, because yoga, like I said, it's an ongoing learning process. So they would also be learning along with you. If you don't give a teacher a chance to teach you, they will never learn how to teach. But it goes both ways.
So, on the same note, Kirtana, naturopathy now, how different it is from when it was introduced.
The first, the when it was coined as a naturopathy system, it was actually more stricter than what it was and what it is now. Because as days rolled over, what we try to do is to accommodate people's a need, and also we were little lenient towards patients' dietary practice because you know, to follow a very strict pattern. Say, for example, coffee, tea to be quitted is what is needed in naturopathic practice. The first thing what we would say. But for many of us, leaving a coffee would be a very, very hard one. So just because a patient cannot leave a coffee, you can't say no, you are not fit for get into the system of treatment. So here and there, we do dilute certain things according to the patient's need. That way, and another way how it is being diluted is with the diagnosis. See,
Oh,
initially, in a proper naturopathy uh, treatment, the diagnosis was more with the encumbrances, your iris diagnosis, where you see, look into the iris and identify what complaint the patient is having. Just the way a person sits, the way how he walks, and where your body is accumulated with toxins. All just by looking at a patient, we were able to diagnose the complaint. But and there was also nadi pariksha, where we just read the pulse of a patient and be able to diagnose if he is having any complaint on his liver or whatever it is, if he is diabetic. So such things were all being diagnosed just with the pulse. But all these things, as days rolled over, we just started to fall in for the modern sciences, where we started to, stop diagnosing this way, and we just jumped into the modern laboratory diagnosis was more into our diagnosis. So I would say when you miss the base, when you miss the principle of naturopathy, then it becomes a little diluted.
okay. But you were talking about lab results versus checking their pulse or iris and all that, right? So how do
Yes.
you do? Do you ask for the lab reports or blood work, or you just check their nadi and
Yes, I do take in both the modern science, laboratory, and the scan reports or per blood work. All these things is being considered, and along with that, I do nadi pariksha also. Nadi pariksha is something where we will be able to diagnose according to a person's constitution, the diet which will suit them in specific, and also there is something called acupuncture nadi, where we will be able to know which in the energies in each organ, and we can even diagnose the condition even before it is presented on the organ. So we can tell a patient that they may get a cold, they may get a backache by just reading the nadi. So it is going to help them in curing the disease and also preventing a condition. So I do practice nadi pariksha also. And iris diagnosis is something where you will use a lens to look into your iris, and the iris is just having a beautiful map of our entire body. So in on the iris you will be able to identify the diseased area, the part which is not functioning properly. If you are diabetic, if you are hypertensive, all that will be what should I put it, as a mark or um, some lines or dilations. So those indications helps us to find out that there are some changes in the body, and accordingly we can plan the treatment.
so Keetna, that was really, really interesting. Like I never heard or I never knew that someone could look into your eyes and then diagnose a disease, which was like, it's amazing. What are the diseases or ailments that we can cure through naturopathy?
Um, Both acute and chronic cases can be handled very beautifully in naturopathy. Usually, people think only chronic ailments can be handled, but acute cases like fever, common cold, headache, all these things can be handled very beautifully. Even at a home, you can get find remedies if you get educated with naturopathic principles. So, for a small headache, say if you have a headache, just a hot food bath can help you to relieve the headache immediately. And the same way, in case of fever, little bit of fasting and some herbal medication according to one's need, along with acupuncture and simple hydrotherapy treatments, we can come out of a simple viral fever. So,
Mm.
starting with telling you about chronic ailments, all your lifestyle metabolic disorders can be treated very beautifully in naturopathy because See, let me tell you, when a doctor prescribes some medicine for a diabetic or a hypertensive patient, do they just give only the medicine? Or don't they prescribe you to go for a walk and change your diet, say lessen your salt, lessen your oil, and they also say don't take sweets, don't they say all these things? But what do we say is we will slowly lessen your medicine. Just start with a proper diet, proper exercising, proper yoga, all a proper way of living. So it's basically lifestyle modification and innovation, which is going to help you in all your chronic complaints. I would say you can very beautifully reverse diabetes if you can just show a little disciplining in your lifestyle. Then I can tell you we can
Hmm.
reverse diabetes, hypertension, asthmatic complaints, what not. I will tell you even the reproductive complaints, fertility problems, which people are going here and there. Just few changes in your lifestyle can bring a beautiful difference. And again, neurological complaints like your headache, migraine and all can be just treated with 3 minutes of treatment. Amazing results you can
Hmm.
find in a migraine, headache, and all, where people keep popping in pills, alternative day, so many painkillers. All these are can be very easily quitted. Just a few lifestyle modifications will help you on all these things.
Hmm. That's really great, amazing. So, Pranjal, how about yoga? I'm sure yoga also cures a lot of, I've heard, I've read so much about yoga, like, all the diseases can be cured just by following or practicing yoga. So, is that, what do you
Yeah.
like to say?
Yeah, that's all true. I mean, not just pain management, that's the most important thing that has been, I think, researched about and talked about yoga, like, a knee pain management or back pain or neck pain or shoulder pain and all those things. When you practice yoga, it helps you improve your mental health, it helps you improve your organic health, helps you in terms of what Kirtana was also mentioning, that if you just add it to your lifestyle, it should become like a lifestyle which will help you in getting to a better healthy lifestyle. And even if you have chronic illnesses, or even like Keerthana was saying, acute illnesses or anything like that, just whatever your doctor has told you to do, even if you're following allopathy or naturopathy, whichever way you go along, this yoga can be added to it as like a supplemental medicine kind of thing, which can really
Hmm.
help you not only physically but mentally. It helps you sort of it motivates you to keep doing, keep following. That helps you gain more willpower to follow all of these things which we are not really used to doing. We are used to eating any way we want and everything. So I guess yoga helps you in that way as well, to help you follow whatever your doctor has told you to follow for whatever illness you have.
We have come to the end of our first session. So, in the upcoming episodes, we are going to be talking about different issues like stress, pain management, sleep disorders, breathing, how to breathe properly, and of course, other ailments too. So, if you have any specific questions or if you want us to talk about any particular topic, please do write to us.